Pastor Maya, very good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back to the road racing capital of the world. Absence makes the heart grow fonder is such a true phrase after what we've gone through with these two barren years without racing, but a further year then to wait until we got here today. The weather is absolutely spot on, remaining dry with variable amounts of cloud this evening and overnight. Minimum overnight 8 Celsius, dry and often sunny again tomorrow, with a mainly moderate northwest wind. Top temperature 16 degrees Celsius and staying dry again on Sunday in the outlook. A bit of a stiff wind might be the only fly in the ointment in terms of the weather, but there's a bigger turnout than usually is on this Friday evening because we're all so pleased to see road racing back after the barren years. There are plenty of options for you to listen here on Manx Radio 1368, the best biking station in the world, brought to you by Kawasaki Insurance. Locally around the Billown course, you can listen via FM on your radio, 87.9 the frequency. We're on 1368 AM. We're also online on Manx Radio Digital and, of course, via smartphones and apps as well. So we are going to hear phrases that we've not heard for some time. I'm looking up the road towards School Hill to the railway crossing as well, the bridge, and out across Four Ways. Well, we've got a new man out there because Roy Moore, and it's time to say a very, very big thank you for his years of loyal service. Roy did announce that he was stepping away from the commentary side of things back in 2019 at the end of the Manx Grand Prix. So we just say to Roy, we are so indebted for your knowledge and your wisdom, your humour that you've brought to the commentaries, and we really, really do appreciate it and hope that you're out there on a hedge somewhere with a cold drink in your hand and really enjoying yourself. And a massive thank you from not just the Manx Radio team, but I'm sure from motorcycle fans around the world. So we'll talk to Rob first. It's going to be a good time to blow away the cobwebs because we haven't done the Friday evening before. But I think after such a long wait, it's a really good thing to do. Roads just about will be closed now around the Colas Billown course. So let's introduce everybody to you, and let's just go down a short little hop down the road to where all the action will be getting underway shortly, and say a very, very good evening to Chris Kinley. Boy, have we missed this.
Certainly have, Tim. Yeah, I got a bit of racing in last year over at Armoy for the club there, and obviously up at Jerbu, the Andreas Racing Association, over at the Northhurst 200 the other week as well in mixed conditions, but the Saturday was absolutely fantastic. I have never seen so many people on the North Coast, and I've been down here on a Friday night before. It is packed down here at Billown. The colours, the sun is out here. It could be nearly factor 50 weather, I would say. It's pretty good down here. Looking over towards all the machines, I was actually thinking while I was having a little wander around the paddock before, all these machines have been being tinkered with for 2 years, because I know a lot of guys got a bit of racing in last year, just sat and they were being tinkered with in garages, you know. Must say hello to somebody tonight. I've just been passed a message, as it kind of happens here. You get past bits of paper throughout the day, my back pocket gets stuffed. Dave Matravers was supposed to be racing here, was Dave, but unfortunately Dave had a bit of a whoopsie at Brands Hatch, bit of an injury, so Dave is not going to be here. So Dave Matravers, one of your friends, has come and said, look, can you give Dave a big mention, please, if you don't mind? So it's duly done. So yeah, thanks very much for that, for getting in touch. So if you want to get in touch as you can, don't forget the Radio TT guys in action on Sunday. We'll be here all day tomorrow. Going to be a busy long day. And do you know what, Tim? I'll just bring you back in a second here. I'm going to be a bit annoyed because I'm going to miss the start of the Champions League final.
I'm sorry, Chris, but this is much more important than a football match.
Well, absolutely. Well, your lucky lot Leeds, they managed to stay in the Premiership, so that's quite good.
That wasn't
so the colours
pleasant
were all
viewing.
ready to go here. No, I bet you it wasn't as well. We're all ready to go down here. The circuit should be just about closed now, all around the circuit. All the marshals will be in position, and a lot of marshals signing on today as people come in. Oh, where do I sign on to marshal? And the club, as always, all the guys in the race office, they're very accommodating. Yeah, just go over there, sign on. You know, if you experience marshal, it's good. It's good to see. It's a great atmosphere down here. So that sets the scene down here. The bikes are getting ready to go. I think we're underway in the next 10 minutes. Don't forget, it's newcomers who'll be going out first. They've got the orange bib. So if you're new to this and you don't know what's happening. The newcomers will all be wearing the orange bibs while they're in qualifying, and then after the qualifying, when the race comes, some of them might have to wear the orange bib, some might not have to wear the orange bib, but just keep an eye on that. But all the usual names are here from the classic scene. We love Alan Oversby. You know, we've got people like Dominic Herbertson here, Jamie Coward, Mark Parrott, my old mates here as well. I bought Mark Parrott a kettle today. Bit of useless trivia for you there, because his kettle blew up before he came here, and we've got to have a brew. That's all I'm going to say. So I'll set back to you, Tim, and let's get Rob off at Cross Four Ways. And just a quick note on Roy as well, at least the certainty counts will be down. Tim, back to you.
Thank you very much indeed. Great to hear Chris Kinley back in action here. And the course inspection, one of the cars is already gone, and the second Mill Crease course inspection car with the orange flashing light just getting ready to get the nod to go. And clerk of the course also just going past. In fact, the other one is still here, just out of my sight. David Mill Crease there in the driver's seat. So they're just waiting to get the confirmation that it's safe for them to go and do their inspection, and of course they'll head past Chris Kinley, then down to Ballakegan, then over the railway crossing for the first time, over the bridge there at just after Iron Gate, and then there's Joey's Gate and Ballinnorris, Ballabeg Hairpin, through Ballawhetstone, past the riding stables, Williams Corner, down into the bomb hole, the Billown Dip there, and past Gellings Farm, and out to Cross Four Ways, where just under 3 miles into the Colas Billown course, which of course is 4.25 miles long, is our new commentator, and he's done such a superb job covering the football. Sorry, that's a second football reference. That will be the last, hopefully. Such a good job covering FC Isle of Man, but now he's getting the real big gig in terms of road racing here on the Isle of Man, and he's out at Cross Four Ways, and a very big welcome to Rob Pritchard.
Yes, very good evening to you, Tim. Yep, I think we have to stop the football references right there. There's plenty of racing to be happening in the next couple of days that are going to occupy plenty of minds, and fantastic crowd actually out here for what will be the first session here, coming past Cross Four Ways. The barriers have in fact, just in the last few minutes, in fact, been put in place to stop the traffic getting through. We've got one of the marshals down in front of us waving the yellow flag. The final preparations, in fact, being made, and I think it's an appropriate time, given the setting that I'm in, to also echo your words, Tim, and just our deepest gratitude to Roy Moore, whose shoes I'll be filling for this weekend. Some very big boots to fill indeed, but an absolute veteran of the course, and we wish him very well indeed, and I hopefully can live up in some form to what he's done as such a fine job over the years. Well, taking a look out here as well, Roy Moore's haunt as it was has changed quite a bit, in fact. We used to have that very long view down the straight in front of us, looking down towards the dip, but big grass hedge in front of us now, so I'm feeling quite, I suppose, conspicuous up at this point, dressed in purple up on a big scaffold, in fact, at this point, and well, to be honest, I don't even have Roy Moore's conspicuous wheelie bin, but I'll certainly be doing my best out here, and hopefully we can bring you all that's coming from Cross Four Ways over the next couple of days. Back to you, Tim.
Yes, thank you very much, Rob. And, well, at least you don't need the waterproofs, it would sound like, from that weather forecast. So that is very much very good news and welcome. It is a little bit chill. The flags certainly are fluttering here on the bypass, Castletown bypass, down here in the south of the Isle of Man. The course actually through Arbury, Castletown and Maloo, the parishes in the south, is all set, but the course inspection cars, the technical inspection that they have already completed, but the course travelling cars should have really left about 7 minutes past 6, so obviously some issue out that we're not aware of at the moment, because they do like to run things like clockwork here at the Southern 100 Club. So 6:15 it's due, and there go the course cars now on their lap of inspection. So 6:15 is when all the newcomers, the solo and sidecar newcomers, will leave the holding area, and they will proceed to the dummy grid, which is behind the grandstand down at the clubhouse end of the bypass. 6:18, all those newcomers will get a circuit familiarisation behind a travelling marshal for 2 laps. Then at 6:21 we've got the 250 and 350cc single machines, and that is indeed our first race tomorrow evening. So it is 2 races within 1, and don't fret about that, Rob, because we'll keep you in check. 2 races within 1 is a tough baptism, to say the least, but we can say, having gone through the lineup there, and it's the first time, and Chris, I'm sure, will have a memory better than mine, but it's the first time I think we've got more 250 machines in the field than 350cc machines. But number 1 for the 350s is Alan Oversby there, Mike Hose at number 4, and then it's Ed Poole at number 39. But Keith Shannon is leading the 250cc's away. He is number 5, and Keith Shannon has won this 250 singles race for the last 4 years, so looking to make it 5. So just going through the evening, they've then got at 6:48. That's how precise it is. It's like a military operation here. We've got the 1100cc Open Classic class. That will be followed by the Post Classic Junior Superbikes at roughly 18 minutes past 7. Then we've got the 250c Lightweight Classic and the 125 Post Classic class as well. They go out at about 20 to 8. We've also got the Post Classic Senior Superbikes later on this evening to look forward to. Then the 350 Junior Classic bikes, the 500cc Senior Classic bikes, and the Sidecar Classic are due away as the final group getting their first practice in, and they will be out at 8 minutes past 9 o'clock. Now, just looking at the regulations and the qualifying, because in fact we'll do that in a moment. We'll head to Chris Kinley, because I can hear the noise of bikes at last.
Yeah, certainly can, Tim, and it's the newcomers who are heading down. It's not just one class, it's all the newcomers, which will include the solos and the sidecars at the back as well. Number 98, beg your pardon, on the blue plates. So that's the 350 Honda, the Davies Motors, beg your pardon, the Drixton Honda from Kinross, Kelly Carruthers, just about to head out. We've also got number, just looking at the numbers, that's weird numbers on that one. 17, that is very weird numbers on that. Russ Rowbury from Worcester on the 350 Drixton. You can do the little 2-stroke 250s, and it's great to see those 250s here. Number 42 in the big unlimited class as well. He's about to go out. Just numbers at the moment, but again, it's very important that they do this lap. Just had a quick chat to our mate Chris Palmer, who along with Dickie Gale is the riders liaison officers. Obviously Chris is the rider liaison for the solos, Dickie for the sidecars, and just had a little chat. He's been flat out taking all these newcomers around the circuit, and you lot all around there are going to be able to see all these in a few minutes' time, because they're being brought forward there. No, I've just been taken out by Chris Palmer again. Look at you there. Then 56 just goes past us. Listen to that. That will be Adam McLean. He's just seen Adam signing on there. So Adam, of course, sad news today about the McAdoo Racing team pulling out of the Alaman TV Festival. Bit of a shame, really. But Adam, listen to that. And Adam on the Ripley Land number 56 machine. Then we got the sidecars coming up. They'll just be holding on for a second. Number 22, Pete Harewood just goes past us. Number 16 on the big classic machine as well, the white plate with the black numbers, just got one hand spare at the moment. That should be just about the newcomers all just through. This noise you can hear coming past us now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sidecars all going through. Just stop at the solos for a second. Keep an eye out for number 70 there. Keep an eye on number 66 in the sidecars. And we have number 97 on a little Honda 250 just going out, and then I think we'll just clear out the way here. I think we've got a problem with somebody here. Another sidecar goes by, so that's about 9 sidecars through. Just let this machine go. Enjoy the noise. So we'll make our way back up, Tim. It'll be a couple of minutes before they get going, but keep your ears on up there. You can go back to all the regulations.
Yeah, just going through the qualifying, and practice laps have to be recorded, and they're only completed laps that count within the time specified. A competitor or driver will not be allowed to start a race unless they have ridden at least 4 laps of the course in practice, and a minimum of 2 practice laps on each machine entered, by one of them, which must be completed in the qualifying time, which is as follows in a 4-lap race, it's 130%, 6-lap race 120, and 7-lap race 118. I don't understand that now, so I'm going to stop reading that little part out. But we basically will have fields of up to 40 entries accepted in the solo races. However, only 30 riders are permitted to start. And of course, we have the mass starts down here, and they'll be made up of the fastest 26 riders in qualifying, plus 4 nominated by the club. In the sidecar classes, up to 25 entries will be accepted, and we've had a few years where there's been a limited entry in the sidecars. I'm really glad to say that it's a pretty healthy lineup this year of sidecar machinery, which is really good to see. So only 18 of them will be allowed to start, and these are made up of the fastest 15 riders, and again 3 nominated by the club. So I can tell you there's also a pretty promising entry, it seems, for in a couple of weeks' time now. The post-TT races, again down here at the Colas Billown course. And, well, that thin layer of clouds just burnt away, and pretty blue sky greets us now, and the wind seems to just be dropping as well, and bright sunshine abounds here down in the south of the Isle of Man. So let's just got the machines away. I'm hearing from Chris Kinley. Can we just pop back to Chris to hear them away?
Yeah, Tim, they're gone. They're already heading out towards a couple hundred yards up the road, past the little what do they call it? They call it the hedges there, just before they get to Ballakegan, and then turn right and heading down towards the long Ballakegan straight to your neck of the woods. Back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. And yes, it's through the Iron Gate, and then Ballinnorris, where Joey's Gate, of course, is famously went on and through the gate and into the farmer's field there on one occasion. Ballabeg Hairpin, and just after that on Duck Street is 2 miles into the Colas Billown course. And then to Balla Whetstone through the riding stables there, on the corner. There's Williams Corner, just past the entrance to Billown Mansion as well in the dip, Gellings Farm, Billown Cottage, and then Maggie's Cottage. And then they will be coming into the site there very shortly of our commentary man at Cross Four Ways, and interested to see he's in a new position there and up on a gantry, it would seem, from looking at Manx Radio's social media feed. And let's see the first time as they come through there, the newcomers under marshals just doing a familiarisation lap, so the speeds won't be that high. But let's hand over now to Rob Pritchard to get the first action.
Yes, Tim, still waiting to see them coming into my eye line, and in fact this scaffolding, although it's a bit conspicuous, I think it's fair to say, is giving us a fantastic vantage point. We can just see them coming through past Maggie's Cottage now, just emerging into view with the travelling support team just in front, and leading the way, numbers 21, 41 and 83. The first to take it through Cross Four Ways this year, 94, 106, 42 and 56, all in perfect harmony. 104, 95, 29, 30, 98, 16, and last but certainly not least in that group, number 17, all making their way through. Those bikes absolutely singing through there. And here, following up here, the final 3 to make their way through in those orange bibs, as he says, numbers 25, 97 and 64 in the next group to make their way through. We've just had one, in fact, pulling up, number 25. Just looks like maybe some technical issues, just pulling over to the side. Here come the next, 22 and 93 making their way, and now come the sidecars as well, following closely. Number 47 out in front here, we're followed by 5 and 17, 97, 21, 46, 56. There's that group coming through and bringing it up just about 5 or 6 lengths back. Number 66 making its way through Corner Cottage. And that concludes the group that makes its way for the first time in 3 years through Cross Four Ways in the sunshine here. God, you're going to love that smell, haven't you, of the engines and the oil going through. Yeah, we did have one that has just stopped over here, just having a bit of a chat with the marshals. Back over to you, Tim, over at the bridge.
Yes, just spotted the first very bright, luminous colours of the Marshall at the head there. And it's 21, 41, 83, 42, 94, 106, 55, 16. A couple of others in there. 30, 104 and 98. So 21 was Stefan Petri. We've also got Colin Stockdale. number 83. Excuse me. 64 just through there. And that is Chris Petty. So, the order then. There's a frog in the throat. 41, Colin Stockdale. 83, Gareth Arnold. Andy Hornby, number 42, is out there. 106 is Simon Lehane. 94 is Gordon Clark. 56 is Adam McLean. 95 is Stephen Paul Higgins. 16 is Jeffrey Vermeulen. 29 is Marcus Simpson. As the sidecars pile through. So Connor Wade is number 30, 104 is Andy Hunt, 98 is Kelly Carruthers, 17 is Russell Robury, 64 Chris Petty, 97 Jeff Smith. And the sidecars, we had David Lisserman as the driver there at 47, number 5 is Danny Quirk, 17 is Keith Walters and Alan Thomas. They aren't newcomers, but they're just out for the familiarisation. And 97, Bob Dawson was also out as well, just in amongst the newcomers to the sidecar, just to give them a little bit more of an experience about the lines that they are to take and just marshalling those riders around. Well, let's go back out to Cross Four Ways and I'll get some water in and get rid of this frog. Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, frog in the throat early on. Yeah, well, right on cue. They're just making their way back round again for a second time. The travelling pack up at the front, making their way around Maggie's cottage. And a bit more bunched up this time. 21, 42 and 41 the first three through. Followed Clipsley, 83 and 56, 94. Then leading the next pack, followed by 106, 95, 29, 30, 98 and 17. A bit more of a gap there. They're all the way out here on his own. Number 104 making his way through. Smooth as you like through there, and we're just waiting, I guess, for the next pack to make its way. They seem to have cut themselves a bit of a gap, those front two groups here. Another solo rider making his way through, it seems, as he makes his way around the hedgerow here. Yep, it's number 64 heading into Cross Four Ways here. Very spread out, in fact, looking all the way back along the route further back down the circuit. Another solo rider making his way here. Good 10-15 seconds behind here, number 97. Following through very nicely. Once again, no issues whatsoever heading through the corner. And yes, I do believe we can see the flurry of sidecars making their way down. Here we go. There's the front two. A good 2 or 3 lengths between the front three here as they make their way into the corner. 47 just behind the travelling marshals, followed by 5 and 17. And again, the pack just opening up at the moment here. Plenty of tarmac to see down here. Those three through absolutely no problem at all. And yeah, just a reminder in terms of the newcomers that came through, number 25 pulling out on the other lap. And Tim, time to go back to you on the bridge.
Yes, newcomers, the checkered flag is out, so they've had their 2 familiarisation laps. And there's held stationary yellow just at the top of School Hill as they just to warn them that, yep, this is time to slow down as the checkered flag is out. A nice story there. Alan Reid has been the flag marshal here for many a long time. He's just helping out and supervising, showing the new flag marshal here at the bus, as we affectionately call it. Used to be a bus with a commentary box seat in the bus driver's seat, but it's always referred to here at Race HQ as the bus. But Chris McLaughlin is going to be the new flag marshal here. Alan Reid has stepped away, so we wish him well and thank him for his duty. And Chris McLaughlin is the new man going to be in charge of the flags. So here come the sidecars now. Time's irrelevant because they've been under escort from the marshal. But Adam McLean is the quickest that we can see through there as number 17 just goes through. That's Keith Walters and Alan Thomas, one of the more experienced crews. And it will just, another machine just, I think, seen on the bridge. We're going to see if we can get some brambles cut on the top of there, because it's just slightly obscuring the view up the railway line. That's our indicator to get the hand back from Cross Four Ways to here on the bypass. as more machines just now trundle over the line to finish, and 3, 4, 5 more machines. The last one is a travelling marshal, 46 across the line. That's numbers 70, 56 and 66. And now the travelling marshal. So we will now move to the first official practice after that familiarisation lap, and it should be now the 250 and 350cc machines in the holding area in the dummy grid forming as well. And that, of course, is the first race, which will be taking place tomorrow evening. So let's hand down to Chris Kinley.
Yes, thanks Tim, and thanks to Rob as well out there across four ways. We've now got the 250 and 350s heading out. Number 40, Barry Davison, is there. Barry, no mean runner around. His young fella's actually racing across in Ireland as well. Now very similar to John Burrows, and John, if you're listening, not sure if you're here on Ireland yet, and you young fella also racing too. But number 5 is there. That's Keith Shannon. You talked about Keith Shannon a bit earlier on. Keith on that 250 Cotton Telstar, previous winner. Of course, if you look at the programme, and if it's got like an asterisk beside it, not a star, the star means that they're a newcomer, but it's got an asterisk beside it, that means that they are a previous winner around the 4 1/4 Colas Billown Circuit. We're ready to go. Such is the efficiency. Listen to this lot. Enjoy. 62 just alongside me there, Jack Hunter, son of Jim Hunter, of course, one of our travelling marshals on the TT Mountain Circuit. He's on that lovely machine. He's on the Rupert Burden 250 Ducati. Here, of course, from Ramsey, 92 just about to leave as well. Mick Morton, Mick, of course, lives here on the Isle of Man, a regular racer up there at Derby. So that's the first practice session away for Class 1, 175 to 250. They're the green plates, and the 250s, the 350s, they're on the blue plates. The last one away is Mick Morton, number 92. Listen to that. And we'll hand out in good time the cross four ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. An absolute symphony of noise down there as we just await more of it down at this end once again. Just looking straight down the curvature of the circuit, just waiting for the first ones to come through here. The sun absolutely beaming down here at the moment. All those clouds seeming to disperse. That'll be much of a relief to plenty of the spectators who are lining the stone walls here, the barriers as well. Just waiting for the first ones to be making their way into view as they make their way, obviously, through the likes of the stables and the dip, and then eventually through Maggie's cottage. Hopefully we can spot them in plenty of time, and I do think we could just about hear the first bit of noise as they make their way further up the circuit here. Just waiting for the first one to emerge. First real, I suppose, lap in anger, almost, as it were. Maybe not. Maybe that might be a bit of an overstatement, but at the same time, the first real test for those making their way. And we can just see, just out in front here, one solitary rider making his way forwards here. Who's going to be the first of the first official practice making their way through Maggie's cottage here, just taking their time here at the moment. It is indeed number 5, Keith Shannon here. He's just looking behind himself and possibly moving his way to the side. He is pulling over, followed by 140 and 72 there. So that is Alan Oversby, followed by Barry Davidson, and David Tetley as number 90 makes his way through there. Mike Barry on the 252 Ducati. A bit of a length back here as charging through here is Adrian Scaife, number 45 on the Air Matchy, followed by number 86, Bill Swallow on the Sealy, making his way through perfectly there, and 2 abreast coming through here, 82 and 71, Rod Graham and Richard Bull making their way through. Bit of a gap as they, another 3 coming up towards the corner here, 104, 47 and 39 there, so one of the newcomers in there, Andy Hunt as well. So the front runners there were indeed Alan Oversby, with Keith Shannon actually moving his way to the side there, followed by Barry Davison just behind the pack, with Shannon making his way to the corner. 67 coming through there, that's Jeffrey Bates, 62 and 96 as well. So we've got Jack Hunter and Terence Sanson making their way through. Gap once again, number 27. Alan Small goes to the 250 Ducati, and we can now hand back in time to the bridge. And Tim.
And across the line goes number 1, Alan Oversby, the winner of the 350cc class. Mike Hose, he was in third, with the winner in 2018, is across the line, as is 40 Barry Davidson, 121 John Cliff, and 72 Ian Bainbridge, and number 57 Brian Nichols. Just going through, number 99, a regular here, Arthur Browning, and 102 Nick Penny. Bill Swallow, number 86, is across the line, and how much success Bill has had here at this Blackford's pre-TT Classic meeting. Adrian Scaife has gone through, number 45. Number 90, Mike Barry, as number 47 through. That's David Tetley. Rod Graham was sandwiched in between Mike Barry and David Tetley, number 82. 71, Richard Boole is through. 104, that's Andy Hunt safely through, and 39, Edward Poole. But a concern there that it sounded like he was pulling over, but number 5, Keith Shannon, has not gone through as yet. And of course Keith is a prodigious winner in this class. He won it in 2016, 2017, 2018 and 2019, so all out to try and make it a 5-time hit rate in this particular class. But he seems to have struck a little bit of a mechanical issue maybe. Of course, no times yet to give you, because they started from the dummy grid and yet to register a full lap. So Oversby, though, was on a charge and was certainly quite a distance ahead, in fact, of number 4, Mike Hose. So with that, we'll hand it back to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, I think we're going to be hearing that a lot, aren't we? Alan Oversby and Mike Hose not messing about, and here they do come, in fact, charging through past Maggie's Cottage here. It's Mike Hose who's actually just taken up that frontal position, coming through around 2 bike lengths between him and Alan Oversby, going into the corner, followed closely by number 97 there, Jeff Smith on the 200 Honda. There, as you say, Tim, they've picked up themselves a fair gap between them and the rest of the travelling pack, making their way through the sunshine. Just looking past now, we've got 2 more coming through, number 40 and number 121, so Barry Davidson and John Cliff making their way through, followed swiftly in the last couple of seconds. 72, 57 and 86, all 3 in perfect harmony, making their way through, no issues whatsoever. A bit of a steady stream now here, number 45, and a bit of a run on his own here. Adrian Scaife on the air match, he makes his way through along with number 99 Arthur Browning, now giving himself plenty of space to head in, and then following just behind them, number 82 Rod Graham on the 250 Ducati Daytona. 47 making their way through as well, David Tetley on the Norton Manx. Bit more space, more spread out than the front 2, I think it's fair to say, but I think we can easily say here with the 90 coming through. Over to you, Tim.
Yes, just spotted the first machine crossing the railway bridge. First 2 machines are now into sight. And it is, in fact, number 4 who's got ahead of number 1, Alan Oversby. 83.186 miles per hour for Mike Hose is the standard so far. Alan Oversby, number 1, at 80.555. And they're a country mile ahead of the rest. And just coming through there is one of the newcomers at number 97. And 97 is Jeff Smith on the 200 Honda. Jeff from Cleethorpes, and we welcome him here. 40 across the line is Barry Davidson, closely followed by number 121, who's made a little bit of time up on Davidson and is 3rd at the moment in the classifications. But Bill Swallow, number 86, has now moved into 3rd, 75.782, so almost 5 miles an hour slower than 2nd place Alan Oversby. And Mike Hose further near 3 miles an hour quicker than Oversby. So others across the line, 47, David Tetley, who Rob was saying was going well out at Cross Four Ways, slots into 4th on the leaderboard at 75.653 miles per hour, and others through at 121, John Cliff, 92, Rod Graham, as there's 39 through, that's Ed Poole, 57, Brian Nichols safely through, as is 72, Ian Bainbridge, 99, Arthur Browning, 90 is Mike Barry, and also through 102, Nick Penny. And that's Andy Hunt and Richard Boole, 104 and 71 through there, but no change at the top. After the first flying lap, we're getting the first times for nearly 3 years here on the Isle of Man. Mike Ho's quickest at 83.186 miles per hour, ahead of number 1 Alan Oversby at 80.555. And with that, let's go to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Absolutely bang on time there, Tim. Yeah, here he comes, the leader, Mike Hose from Alan Oversby. Just 2 or 3 bike lengths between them. They really have made not just a physical statement on the course, I think a real mental statement here as to just the gap that they're opening up to the rest of the pack here. But the 2 of them absolutely flying through, no messing about at all. We're yet to see the machines in fact emerge over all the way down past Maggie's Cottage and looking further up there. I think if that lap in particular is any go by, there could be take some catching, I think, there. Mike Hose and Alan Oversby as they make their way through. I think we can hear just that harmony of noise making its way through. Indeed we can. And we've got the one who just seems to have dropped back ever so slightly. Coming through this time is number 40, in fact, Barry Davidson. Plenty of daylight between him and the next travelling 2 here. They are 86 and 121, so that is Bill Swallow and John Cliff. 97, 57 making their way through, a bit more spread out between the 2. Following that is number 45, Adrian Scaife, makes his way through unscathed, and number 72, Ian Bainbridge on the Cotton Telstar. And we've got 2 further ones coming through the cottage. Tim, it's back over to you.
That's number 4 across the line and number 1 across the line. So that is Alan Oversby second and Mike Hose third, and they've gone both quicker. In fact, Alan Oversby notably quicker, 83.839 miles per hour on that third lap for Mike Hose, and Alan Oversby 83.762, so hardly anything between the 2 of them. What that really does set us up for an absolutely stonking race in the 350 class tomorrow. Just looking down, I think we have got, let me just double check on this. I'm looking to see which the first 250 machine is. And I think, unless I've missed one, it will be number 40 Barry Davidson, who's just coming into view now ahead of number 86 as the checkered flag is now waved. So Bill Swallow's gone quicker on that last lap as well at 78.171 miles per hour, but he's a full 5 miles per hour slower than Oversby and Mike Hose. Fourth then, at the moment as we stand, is number 47, David Tetley, at 76.805. Fifth is currently number 45, Adrian Scaife, at 75.453 miles per hour. Sixth, number 40, Barry Davidson, and he is the first of the 250 machines. Barry Davidson dropping away a little bit there on his time was quicker on the last lap, but that's number 39, Edward Poole has now gone up into 8th place on the overall leaderboard. Sandwiched in between Davidson and Poole is 7th place, number 82, Rod Graham, at just smidge under 74 miles per hour. And John Cliff is currently 9th, completing the top 9. 121 is his race number at 73.518. And in 10th is number 57, Brian Nicol, also completing the 3 laps. I can tell you is number 72, Ian Bainbridge, number 67, Geoffrey Bates, number 96, Terence Sampson, number 104, Andy Hunt, number 99, Arthur Browning, is also just gone through as we await more machines to come through. But the story really, and we'll get Chris's reaction shortly, of that session is, well, just the closeness it is in the 350cc race between Mike Hose and Alan Oversby. But the main story, I think, was going to be the 250cc singles and the lack of any lap times in for the last 4 years winners. We've had meetings down here. Keith Shannon and Rob spotted that he was in a little bit of trouble. And I can tell you that's Alan Oversby and Mike Hose, and we've got a new fastest rider. It's number 1, Alan Oversby, at 84.893 miles per hour on the 4th lap. They just snuck out and got that 4th lap in before the checkered flag came out. Mike Hose has gone quicker as well at 84.418 miles per hour. So they really are stretching that elastic and there's very little between them, and they've been swapping around on the road as well, the two of them. Great action to start our meeting down here at the Colas Billown course in the SPR Singles Classic Race Practice at the Blackford Financial Services Pre-TT Classic Races. Brilliant stuff. Chris Kinley, there's not much there at all, is there, between Oversby and Hose? That could be an absolute humdinger tomorrow evening. But Keith Shannon, that's a surprise.
It is, Tim, a lot of work for his team, possibly overnight into tomorrow. Looking at the lap records for the 250, Bob Jackson holds that for race number 1, the SPR Singles Classic race, back to 1997, 83.42. 350 is Roy Richardson, 2009, 88.44, so they're going to have to go some on that. And hard luck to Keith Shannon, but that's what racing is all about. These things will need a bit of a fix. Now, the final machine should be back in. You can hear machines just in the background there now. That's going to be practice session number 2, the A.D. Hewitt Dental Practice, 1,000 up to 1,100 Classic CC race. We've got the 500 machines there, the yellow plates with the black numbers, and over 500cc machines, they're white plates with the black numbers. Again, you'll have Alan Oversby out there. You'll have Mike Hose once more. Dominic Herbertson will be out. Keep an eye out for Dominic. Also Jamie Coward on the 500 Craven Manx Norton, the Ted Wolf machine. The bike that Dom Herbertson is on, number 3. That's the Yamaha TX500. They experimented with this in about 18 and 19, if I remember rightly. The Davies Motorsport team. Dominic, of course, from Hexham. Just ask him if you see him walking around the TT paddock, what happened to his eye? Because he's got a bit of an injury to his eye, and every time you talk to him there's a different story as if to how what he's done to his eye. I can't wait to hear the number 1 machine of Alan Oversby going past the 930 Eastern Rob North Triumph, and of course the Rob North guys over the years have been putting out some superb bikes, haven't they, really? But Alan Oversby from Bolton the Sands, he's definitely going to be one to watch here as well. Who else should we look out for? Barry Davison from Ballymena. We mentioned Barry before in the last practice on the 500 Team Gimbert Honda machine. How many newcomers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 newcomers in here. Number 16, Jeffrey Vermeulen on the Andy Norrish Westlake, the 750. The Dutch rider Colin Stockdale, Saltburn by the Sea, found the 500 Honda 4. He's at number 41. Number 42, Andy Hornby on the RPS Triumph, the P&M Motorcycles Hell Performance Triumph. He's from Exeter, number 42. 94, Gordon Clark on the 930 Rob North Triumph from Hemel Hempstead, and another newcomer, 106, Simon Lehane from Pontefract on the 500 Rutter Racing. The Elliott Racing CB450 machine. Speaking of people from Pontefract, good to see my old mate Robbie Sylvester here, walking around the paddock a little bit earlier on up at the TT Grandstand, and good to see Robbie back here. Wasn't sure if he was going to make it, but he is here with his American rider once more. Just waiting for the go-ahead down there, so just picture the scene. If you don't know the Isle of Man, if you're looking towards Port Erin in the south, over towards the Ballabeg area, big grey cloud over towards South Brule, but I think it's going to be okay with that one. The breeze is blowing into the faces. Talking to Ewan Hamilton before about the little 250 he's going to be running. He was worried about gearing, and I think it has moved around the wind a little bit from when we came here a couple of hours ago. Before it was running kind of, so it would be behind their backs running down towards Ballycagan, but it seems to be just in their face past the start and finish, and just maybe sort of coming from the, I'm going to say the Fleshick sort of area, and then it's moving around again. So it is a bit of a swirly, sort of gusty sort of breeze, and well, these guys I'm sure are going to cope with this. I think we're just not far away from ready to go. Another cars have gone out, and do you know the good thing is, Tim and Rob, when you see all the guys down here today smiling, happy faces to see racing around the 4.25 mile Colas Billown Circuit once again. The club have kept going. They've had a lot of hardship, like a lot of businesses over the past couple of years, trying to struggle through that pandemic that we had. Let's hopefully that's all gone away now. We can all enjoy a pretty safe and pretty quick TT coming up, and of course around here as well. The club, like I said, have been working really hard, and the course looks in good trim. I was speaking to Dominic Herbertson a little bit earlier on when he was signing on, and he said he went for a lap, and he said by heck, the course doesn't half look good. So yeah, they've done a lot of work in. All the team members, all the committee members, all the helpers are coming, the farmers, they help them set out all the red tail bales every year. Well done to them all. They've kept it all going through all this. So I'm down here in the winners enclosure, just about as where I am, and It's been a while since I've been here. The one thing they do need to do is get on the grass cutting skills here, because they've missed the bits under the fence. And it's just a bit for continuity's sake. They need to sort that out. I'll have a little word on Herbie and that, see if we can get that sorted for Saturday and for Monday. If you keep a little eye on the Southern 100 Facebook page as well, and the Manx Radio Motorsport page, I'm sure you'll be able to see stuff going on there. But I know Boris Kitchen is down there, who's the Facebook guru for the club and the social media side. He's been taking videos of all the machines going off, and I'm going to move down there now, because I'm sure we're not going to be too far away. Probably the reason why we do have a little bit of a break is because a lot of the guys have been out in the first practice session, and now they're about to go out in the second practice session. Just got some news in about a possible sidecar non-starter. Will be Nick Horton, of course, a winner here before, with Chris McGarn in the chair. Now, I don't think they're going to be out tonight, or maybe not at all, because I think Chris is marshalling somewhere out on the circuit. So Chris and Nick, hope you get that sorted for tomorrow. As you hear the noise getting a little bit loud as we move further down. So the little bypass road here, right at the end there now, with the flags of the various nations fluttering in that little breeze we talked about. Just by the exit there, you've got the big gate. You've got a little roller wheel here, so I'll just raise my voice a little bit as we go past the number 12 machine of Richard Ford, the 920 Norton Commander from Garstang. Just out by Preston there, it's 91, just getting his machine fired up. Sounds good, the 500 pattern there. Number 11 ready to go also, Stevie Elliott. Previous winner around here too is Steve on the 500 Rutter Honda 4, 106. Mentioned there Simon Lehane on the 500 machine. 54 there, that will be Pete Boast on the G50, the matchless it is. They're going to see Pete back here once again, is very familiar. Number 54 that he always runs, 48 name check for Andy Kildare for Newlands. Away we go, practice 2. From the Netherlands on number 51, Mr. Lad. Oh, we got a bit of a problem here for number 3, Tom Hermanson. The Yamaha TX500 won't start so they get into the rolling road. Keep an eye out number 1, Tim, just for your notes there. He's not on the 930 Rob North Trident, it's Alan Oversby. He's on the 500 Honda. All right, so keep a little eye on that when he comes round. And we're just going to keep an eye on here just for a second. Hopefully Dominic will get it on. But let's get out to Rob across 4 ways to the big bikes. Rob.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that quick changeover between sessions is just the first reminder in a couple of years of just how slick and efficient this operation is that the Southern 100 Club put on. And yes, we can hear that noise absolutely piercing this sun-kissed sky at the moment, just waiting for the first real appearance of those coming through. We're just waiting, and yes, indeed, we can see just way out in front here, absolutely barreling through Maggie's Cottage. Here is, in fact, number 91 making his way through here on the green there, and here come the following travelling group. In fact, here they are coming in more numbers. It's 54 making it past 11 there, so that's number Peter Bose going all the way past Stephen Elliott, and there we have 41 heading through as well, that group of 5. Big plume of smoke over in the distance, but bike's still moving here. 140 making their way through, and it's 40 making his way past 100 there. Barry Davidson with the overtake on Heffernan Owen, and following just behind them a couple of seconds, number 19 Sam Kincaid on the 500 Sealy Matchless here. You can still see that plume of smoke in the background, but everyone moving smoothly, making their way through from the next group here. Number 61, that's Leon Murphy on the 500 Honda. 63, 36, 41, 43, and number 2 Paul Cassidy on the end of that group, followed by number 12 here, Richard Ford, who's got a bit of space between himself as they all make their way through. No issues whatsoever through the corner. And back over to you, Tim. It's time to go.
Yeah, green flag on display as the first rider emerges into view, and it is indeed at number 91. That's Richard Bairstow, who has gone through. Of course, no times because they left the dummy grid further down the road, but this is the first flying lap now, as there is number 1. And as Chris rightly says, yes, on the 500 Honda. And that is number 48, Andy Kildare there through. Number 48, the Newton Arts rider. 4 through, that's Mike Hose. 40, Barry Davidson's through. And ahead of them were number 11, Stephen Elliott. Number 54, Peter Boaston. 106. And 106 is Simon Lahan, a newcomer from Pontefract. 100, Heffernan Owen is through. 19, Sam Kincaid is through. 36, Jamie Coward. He'll be one of the race favourites. 54, Peter Boast is retiring further down the road, we are told. 61, Leon Murphy. 63, Ian Thompson. 43, Gary Porter. 12, Richard Ford. 2, Paul Cassidy. And 41, Colin Stockdale are all through. So 17 riders have made it through. Another 1, 2, 3, 4 emerge. 51, 42, 49 and 99 are through. That's Nikolai Klinker, Andy Hornby, Anthony Ambler, Arthur Browning, and 75, Neil Lloyd has just crossed the start-finish line now, and the road just falls quiet temporarily. The Berger van across there is doing a good trade. I can see is number 20 now crosses the line, and number 20 is Guy Hutton on the 500 Honda, the Newry rider, and there is number 3, Dominic Herbertson, who got delayed leaving there, the Hexham rider leaving the dummy grid. But let's go to across four ways and Rob Pritchard.
Excellent timing. First 2 coming through. Here is number 91, Richard Bairstow, barrelling in here, followed very closely now by Alan Oversby, who's caught up plenty of ground on him as they make it through, really. But apart from those 2, there's a fair bit of a gap. Taking a look down here from those 2 who are going to be barreling their way up to Church Bends, of course. Here are the next couple of riders coming into sight round Maggie's Cottage. Number 4, Mike Hose is the first 2, followed by number 11, Stephen Elliott. A good 5 or 6 bike lengths behind them. Number 40 is then following in behind Barry Davidson on the Team Gimbert Honda here. 3 abreast almost here coming through. 3 in a row. Next it's number 36 followed by 100 and 106. That's Simon Lahane on the back of that little group making its way through. 2 further as they make their way around Corner Cottage. 43 and 19. So that's Gary Porter and Sam Kincaid follow closely. And number 61 Leon Murphy, who makes his way through almost side by side. 63 and 12 through there. That was Ian Thompson and Richard Ford, and a bit of space further back for Paul Cassidy. And now back over to you, Tim. It's time to go.
Perfect timing has come over the crest of School Hill Rise there. Number 1 across the line, that's Alan Oversby. There's number 91, that's Richard Bairstow. Alan Oversby, 89.356 miles per hour. Bairstow's time, 82.441. And the third rider now comes into view, and it should be Mike Hose. It is indeed number 4. He goes second on the leaderboard. Seems to be just cutting the revs a little bit there. They've got the option of doing a further lap, but number 40, Barry Davidson's in third place. And that is a new fastest lap there from number 36, Jamie Coward. He goes to the top. And number 4, yeah, I thought he was just shutting off as he went past us here. Mike Hose has retired. And they've still got time to get another flying lap in here. But Jamie Coward, 89.371 miles per hour. Oversby, number 1 in second, 89.356. So there's a cigarette paper between those 2. Number 4, who's just pulling in at further down the road, is Mike Hose, 86.343 in third. Fourth is number 43, Gary. Oh, an overtake from 42 there ahead of 48, and 42 in fact goes into 5th place. So fourth is number 43, Gary Porter, 84.988 miles per hour. 5th, number 42, the newcomer as well. What a performance, and gave us some excitement here on the start and finish line with that overtake manoeuvre as they cross the line. 84.988 for Gary Porter. For Andy, he's 84.333. A correction there, and he's down into sixth because gone up into first place is number 3 Dominic Herbertson at 91.953 miles per hour. An astonishing lap. He's got the bike going, and my word, it's flying now. Let's go to Rob Pritchard at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, we've just had Alan Oversby through, followed by 85 and 91 here. So we've got Richard Bairstow at the back of that group now. Alan Oversby made up a lot of ground. I must say, Tim, that when Dominic Herbertson was coming through the back of that pack there, he was certainly not messing around at all, making up the time here. Next two through, past Maggie's Cottage, 36 and 40. So Jamie Coward leading just in front of Barry Davidson, followed by number 11, Stephen Elliott on the Rutter Honda here. Those three through, safe and sound, and a fair gap to the rest of the pack that's just making its way over the horizon now here, and two absolutely really forcing the issue here. And just making a look now, it's number 43, that's Gary Porter, about 2 or 3 bike lengths ahead of number 100, Heffernan Owen, who's following closely and snapping at his heels there for a good position here. A bit more spread out the pack as they make their way back through the sunshine here. Coming through now is number 12 there, Richard Ford. No pressure on him to make his way around. He does so absolutely no problem at all. Number 61 to Leon Murphy. 106, 19 and 63. Tim, over to you.
Yeah, Alan Oversby is through here at 91.057, but that's only for second as number 91 goes across the line. And Alan Oversby, that's enough. He's happy with the 3 laps and is pulling in further down at the club headquarters. And Jamie Coward has gone into the 91s as well. As has indeed Dominic Herbertson, but we're waiting for him to come through. He's still top of the pile, but Jamie Coward's second, a 91.078 compared to Herbertson on the last lap at 91.953. As number 43 goes through, and that's Gary Porter, and a good lap again from him. He's up into fourth at 86.408 miles per hour. Davidson is third at number 40, Barry Davidson at 86, and there's Herbertson at 91. Well, he's not gone quicker this time, just slightly slower on that lap there. So let's just in fact, still waiting for Herbertson here. He's still only on here as 2 laps, but the checkered flag is out, and that was Herbertson just going through there, but he was 5 seconds or so slower, and noticeably on the Davies Motorsport prepared bike had slowed, but he's top of the pile at 91.953 miles per hour. But the leaders, a few of them still will be getting another lap in, so let's head out to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, Tim, there's Terence Sansom just coming through there at the moment on the 500 Honda. Not seeing too much on the horizon as of yet. It looks as though the final competitors are making their way through here. Then one thing you didn't, Roy Moore didn't tell me, it's a bit of an optical illusion looking down here. I'll come back to that at some other time, because we do have another coming through here, and it is indeed Jamie Coward, absolutely barreling in, no messing about. He's through Cross Four Ways, absolutely no issue at all. And then a good 5, 6, 7 seconds back is number 40 here, Barry Davidson, closing it down, going through the gears, and followed closely now by Stephen Elliott with around 4 or 5 seconds difference there as they make their way back through the sunshine, barreling up towards Church Bends. And we can just see one further bike machine making its way through here, and that is indeed number 43. Plenty of space to himself there, Gary Porter on the 750 BSA Rob North. And following up again, a good 5, 6 seconds behind, a bit more spread out, number 100, and that is Heffernan Owen on the Sealy G50. And it's time to go back to you, Tim.
Yeah, bike just hoving into view here, and that is number 96, and he just stands up there. There's number 96, that's Terence Sampson on the 500 Honda. Paul and Dawn Matraver's prepared bike, as here is 36 Jamie Coward, and he has gone slightly quicker on that, but he can't knock number 3 Dominic Herbertson away from the top of the leaderboard as number 40 now crosses the line, Barry Davidson, and he goes quicker as well but stays in 4th. So Dominic Herbertson is the quickest in the opening practice session, number 3 at 91.953 miles per hour. He did that on his second lap, and remember he did have those issues getting away from the dummy grid further away from us. Number 36, Jamie Coward, is second quickest at 91.114 miles per hour, and third is number 1 Alan Oversby, also over the 91 miles an hour at just 0.57 miles per hour. Then there's a bit of a gap in terms of mile per hours, as fourth place is number 40 Barry Davidson at 86.688 miles per hour. Fifth, number 43 Gary Porter at 86.547 miles per hour, and sixth, just across the line, should be just pulling in the slip road there further down towards the clubhouse, is the newcomer Andy Hornby. What a ride by him. He's adjusting very nicely indeed to the Colas Billown course, and he has lap number 42 at 86.411 miles per hour. Seventh, number 4 Mike Hose, only did the 2 laps at 86.343 miles per hour. Eighth, number 11 Stephen Elliott at 86.037. Ninth, number 12 Richard Ford at 84.576 miles per hour, and completing the top 10 is number 91 Richard Bairstow at 82.712 miles per hour. Then it's 11th, number 100, Hefin Owen. 12th, number 61, Leon Murphy. 13th, number 35, that's John Lee Pemberton. 14th is number 81, Keith Clark. 15th, number 63, Ian Thompson. 16th, number 49, Anthony Ambler. 17th, number 2, Paul Cassidy. 18th, number 51, Nikolai Klinker. 19th, number 48, Andy Kildare. And 20th, number 19, Sam Kinkead. 21st is 75, Neil Lloyd. And 22nd is number 99, Arthur Browning. And that's as far as I can go. It's reached the bottom of the screen here at the bus on the Castletown bypass, the race headquarters. So, looking at the A.D. Hewitt Dental Practice 1100cc Classic Race, the opening practice, they will get a further session in tomorrow. The leader at the moment on provisional pole is number 3, Dominic Herbertson, 91.953 miles per hour. Second, number 36, Jamie Coward, 91.114 miles per hour. And third, number 1, Alan Oversby. And if we just go back to what happened in this race last year, it's so easy to say, isn't it? 3 years ago. Just looking at it, we had Jamie Coward was the winner ahead of Dominic Herbertson, and Dean Stimpson, as a newcomer, was in third. So let's just get reaction to what we've seen there from Chris Kinley.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Just walking down with all the spectators and stuff. They're making their way around the circuit. Visitors to our island. Welcome back, guys. Nice to have you here in the sunshine. Just squeeze past this chap who's got more hair than his head than me. Let us get past there, guys. Thank you very much. Good lads. Cheers. Going to try and get a word, if we can, with Dominic Herbertson. Obviously a good lap on that, and find out what the problems were on the start lap. The sidecar is going to be going out next. It's great to see. I love the sidecars here. And I'm actually going to do something a bit controversial. I'm not going to jump the wall. I'm getting way too old to be doing things like that. So we'll take a walk into the paddock, past the people. Take a bit of a scoot on here, getting round the back. You can hear the generators kicking in as we walk round to the side, past all the vans. Very well laid out in here in the Sunderland paddock, always is. Maybe just catch the thoughts of Dom on track there, find out what the problem was with the machine. We're nearly back at them here now. They obviously come in and then turn into their areas. Got a bit of a pace on here, as you can tell. Not doing as much cycling as it should be. What was his lap time again, Tim?
Sorry, Chris, it's gone off the screen now.
Okay.
We were up in the 90s anyway, 93s.
Yeah, it was 91, wasn't it? Yeah, 91.
That's correct, yes.
I think it was something like 91.
There were 3 over 91.
Yeah, there was him, Alan, and there was one. I did have it on the screen. I've got there as well, but again, it's disappeared off for me as well. So we'll have to go round. Can't actually see him at the moment. Don't know where he's disappeared to. I'm absolutely surprised he's not come back to his area. Hang on, I've just got to try and work an area through here, Tim. It's like the Crystal Maze. This. It's like I'm following Annika Rice on what's that program? What was it called? Oh, she was jumping out of the helicopters.
Treasure
I can't
Hunt.
remember what it's called now. Treasure Hunt. Well done. You've got it on DVD probably. So there we go. John Lee Pemberton I can just see there as well. And we'll move out round the back. There's Ginny Keown, who's been the focus of Mark Tiley and Mark Herbertson there, Dominic's dad, so I don't think Mark will be too far away. No, I just can't find him at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, because I like to get the thoughts of Dom and see how he is. I look to see Alan Oversby's machines are there, but I don't see Alan as of yet. So the sidecars, I think the next, Tim, isn't it? I think it is. I think they should be, because they keep the road clear. And Jamie Coward, actually, we'll grab a word with Jamie if we can. Jamie, how was that practice? Good? Nice to be back?
Yeah, it's fantastic to be fair. Just said to Ted then back in the awning, the Manx Norton fit like a old slipper, so I got out there and a big smile on my face again, so it was nice to get back out, and like everyone said in the paddock and around the island at the moment, it's been 3 years away, so it's been absolutely amazing to get back out on track and entertain the fans and spectators and stuff. So
track conditions?
Pretty good to be fair. I'm just going to go speak to the organisers about across 4 ways. They've done a bit of resurfacing, changed the
on the exit
there,
yeah.
But going into there, it's quite raised, and they've done a bit of white line work as well. So you go over the white line, it's quite a bit raised, and you go into like a bit of a hole, and it's a bit unsettling. So I'm going to go see the organisers, just mention it to them, and see if anyone. I'm going to speak to some of the riders first to see if they can see anything, or see if they've got the same idea or same feeling. So
all right,
see what happens.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Good to see the guys. Thanks very much for that. There's Jamie Coward. So the thoughts on him, on a little bit of a problem possibly with the tarmac, but they are good here. The guys are great. You can just hear machines being fired up in the background, so we will be getting underway again. I know we're not sure where we are on the schedule anyway, but we're doing pretty well. Yeah, he's just going round, Jamie is now, just having a little look round and just seeing, speak to a few of the guys and just get their thoughts on it, because it is important, and there has to be a few surface changes, especially on cross four ways. And Rob, just to bring you in on that, on cross four ways, you've got to, in fact, I'm picturing where you are. You're looking up the road, you're on the scaffolding right on top of the bales, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Interesting, the conversations there that Jamie was having there about the surface here. It's difficult to tell from my particular vantage point, but you can actually just see on a couple of the sessions here, not quite as early back as when the newcomers were familiarising themselves. That's a different kettle of fish, really. You can just see a couple of the marshals out here at the moment, just having a quick check to make sure all's in place. It seems to be so, but you could sort of see on a couple of lines that they were taking there, they were almost, I would probably say, just from a neutral perspective, seem to be experimenting a little bit. So it may be the case that a couple of the riders along with Jamie just have maybe just a couple of different food for thought, I think, just on how they might navigate that, if that is the case. But nothing out the ordinary to report, I don't think, but maybe it is indeed just a bit of food for thought just coming through here.
It's a post-classic junior superbikes that are out next. Just on that, just describe the tarmac there, Rob, because it starts basically opposite where the White House is on the corner at Cross Four Ways, doesn't it? And it goes about 50, 60 yards up towards Church Bends.
Roughly so. I mean, just to give you an idea of the vantage point here, obviously we've got the corner cottage just over my right shoulder here, just looking at the tarmac. Things are looking good down here, I think it's fair to say. I certainly wouldn't say there's anything untoward with the surface down here, but we can just see a couple of the marshals just making a couple of adjustments here to something else, something minor by the looks of it. But there are a couple of patches, if you actually look at the junction itself, where cars would usually enter as a normal roadway, there's a couple of different patches where clearly repairs have been made, so maybe that's part of it. Maybe just round the corner of Corner Cottage there might be another little splash of tarmac there that's been added over the last couple of years while things haven't been there. Like I say, it does seem to be that a couple of the riders, particularly from my perspective, I'm sure the riders will tell you different if this is the case, just seem to be maybe experimenting a little as to what the right line is to come through the corner, but certainly nothing out of the ordinary here as far as I can see.
Just your thoughts, Rob. First time over there across Four Ways, having a bit of a watch through. I know you've watched at the Billown Circuit before. What do you make it going into there?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic here. Yes, I've been around a couple of different stopping points when it has been around. It's a weird one, isn't it, for the fact that I know Tim almost referred to it as last year, the time the last races were on, but sometimes it feels like it really is 3 years, sometimes it feels like yesterday, but no, it's a fantastic setting here. The conditions are absolutely perfect. We've got plenty of people lining the barriers over on the far side of the turn itself, so fantastic turnout, everything rather relaxed, and great to see the first session that they make their way back. It's excellent down here, I must say.
Wait till the sidecars come towards you and we'll get your thoughts on that just a little bit later on, Rob. They are an interesting thing. Just there, Pete Boast just had a problem in practice there. Maybe just grab a quick word with Boast. He's got number 54 on the bike, his normal number. He's on a 250 Honda this time. Problems in practice there, Pete, or all good?
Yeah, we had a bit of clutch slip first time out, Chris, but the actual bike's not run right for a while, but actually the engine was running good. So one problem leads to another, but we'll get it sorted. We've got another practice on that one. So
talk us through this on the 250 Honda you got here. You are a big lad on this.
Yeah, I am a big lad on this, but I'll tell you what, it's nice to ride, Chris. It's thanks to John Chapman, he's helped us out because obviously we're trying to think of the Manx Grand Prix, so it's really a good opportunity to ride the 250. But yeah, I'm a big lad. I'll get tucked in, Chris.
Get tucked in with the old elbows kind of in as well. On the slicks as well, so that's great. It's good to see a proper race bike on slicks, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've tested at Cadwell and that, and man, these things do turn, and God, crikey, they're made for the job, that's for sure.
Is this wind going to affect the little 250 gearing wise? It's just dropped a little bit now. What sort of gearing are you running here now? Is it similar to what you run on other bikes?
Yeah, I think the gearing we've gone 1 tooth bigger on the rear compared to the actual TT track. So we're just going to give that a run, see if it's anywhere near. Hopefully it'll be somewhere near, and then we'll work from there.
All right, we'll let you crack on. Won't be too long away, and can't wait to hear this girl going.
I know, well, I'm ready to go.
he's chomping at the bit here. He is, Tim. So there he is, 54. Pete Boast. Nice to get the thoughts of him on the 250. I did say the sidecars right next. I do apologise on that. I had the wrong piece of paper open. If you want to obviously keep up to date with everything, there's some pictures just gone on the Manx Radio Motorsport page, and they haven't put one of me on because you don't want to scare the kids. All right, guys, we'll leave it back to you, Tim, at the start line to set up for this next practice session.
Thanks very much indeed, Rob and Chris there, and just a little note, and we've had a message in here just on our Welsh pronunciation, so more than happy to correct it, and thanks for putting us correct. So it is Heaven Owen, as in Hevin, if you want to pronounce it in the proper Welsh way. I think we've been going Heffen, so it is Heaven Owen. So just a note for our commentators out and around the place. We get the correct Welsh pronunciation of Mr. Owen as he is racing here. So yes, next out should be, according to my list here, Junior Superbikes, and they should be going out any moment now. It's the Post-Classic Junior Superbikes. The fact they were meant to leave the holding area about 12 minutes past 7, so that's about now. And then the technical inspection for the Post-Classic Senior Superbikes will be taking place. 7:18 is when the Post-Classic Junior Superbikes are meant to start their practice, and they will have 12 minutes then, because the checkered flag will be displayed here at the start-finish line at 7:30 if we're running 2 times. So Dominic Herbertson should be out once again on the JCR Davies Motorsport Honda, the 250 machine. Also down to race is the man from Sulby on a 250 JCR Honda, again produced by JCR Davies Motorsport, and that is number 8 Dan Sale. We've got Ian Pert as a newcomer. Other newcomers, number 21 Joe Yeardsley, and number 25 Peter Moore, of course, the Douglas rider. And, well, can't keep them more away from the Billown course, can you? But they're in action this time. Number 29 is a newcomer, Marcus Simpson. Number 30, Connor Wade, a newcomer as well. And then further down, we've got number 83, Gareth Arnold, a newcomer on the 248 Yamaha, the TZ. 94, Gordon Clark is a newcomer, and 95, Steve Paul Higgerty, the man from Caterham, is also a newcomer in this race. Others to have a little look out for. Number 40 is Barry Davidson, who's been going pretty well, the Ballymena rider so far in practice. Peter Boast, who we were hearing from before, the rider from Market Raisin, he's on a 250 Honda RS. Number 54, Peter Boast. And we've got, you've got the doctor now retired from the MotoGP world, but we can offer you number 60, the decorator, Billy Cummins. And the Ramsey man, father, of course, of Connor, is out on a 250 Yamaha. So we've got in this class, when they do race, it'll be 7 laps, so it's 29.75 miles. The race record is held by James Cowton, and the lap record by the late James Cowton. 2014, he set it at just an incredible lick at 99.426 miles per hour. So the plates, it's orange plates on black numbers, and we've got machines 2 strokes from 230cc to 350cc, but there's also 600cc 4-stroke machinery in there. But we've also got, of course, the 750 Ducati, an F1 replica that number 29 Marcus Simpson is riding, the newcomer, the Douglas man, out on a Ducati. That's the one Ducati. No, there's a 600 Ducati for number 37, Dean Edwards as well. So pretty much mostly Yamaha machinery is the order of the day. But the Hondas are preferred by Dominic Herbertson and Dan Sale. Got Kawasaki's in there as well. And a Yamagata is what it's put in the programme for number 33, Chris Moore, on the Outhwaite Plant and Silverstone services prepared bike. The rider from New Mills will be on. That's a 2002 version of that bike. So it is going to be, this race start time is, it's race 5 in the programme. It'll be 10:10 on Monday morning. Let's go down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Tim, there was a lot of activity here because Pete Boast, number 54, fired that little RS250 Honda up, and Peter is on his way down to the little holding area that they have at the end of the road that links Castletown with the bypass. And there we have number 94, just gone past us there now. That's Gordy Clark from Hempstead on a lovely FZ 600 Yamaha, to be fair, before they made the R version. That's been the one little bike that they had the 1000 version out with the X up on it too. So the next bike through, I think it's another Kawasaki. There is some interesting machines in here. Ian Pert, for those who know Ian Scotsman from Edzell, on a 600 Kawasaki GPZ, number 118, also gone past us now, Andy Saylor. He's on another 600 Kawasaki, just to hear the noises going through the recovery vehicle. 33, Chris Moore, always has a nice 250 Yamaha. 52, Brian Clark from Morecambe on the 1994 600 Yamaha. Oh, number 29, I knew who that was. That's Marcus Simpson, one of our local lads up there at Derby, going very, very well. Now he is on a beautiful bike, a 1986 750 Ducati F1 replica. 83 also through another local lad, Gareth Arnold, who was at the North West 200 the other week as well, done a couple of the Irish roads. 31, Colin Crofters, and a bit of a chat to Colin, and also Anthony Redmond, number 46. They're all happy, having a bit of fun. 95 is next, Steve Paul Higgerty, I beg your pardon, on the 250 Yamaha, number 50. That's the Yamaha, that of Dave Glover from Scunthorpe, the 1991 250 TZ. Hello, how are you? Okay. 45 is next, 80 Scaife, goes past us now. Good, that's a lovely machine. The Moto Fix Otley 250 Honda, and number 30 That's Connor Wade from Ledworth on another 250 machine, and they are out on the circuit, and you can tell it's 250s because as you look towards Ballakegan, there's that lovely smoke haze. To set us up there, ready for practice number 3 for race number 5, the Jeff Duke Superbike race, the Junior Superbike race. Let's go to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, Chris, thanks very much. Just waiting for them to make their way round here, and the one thing I was going to point on before I was interrupted during the last practices, one thing that Roy Moore didn't tell me, it's a bit of an optical illusion looking down towards the just past Maggie's cottage there, because on a couple of occasions it looks like when the riders are 3 abreast, they are in fact in a perfect line formation, one behind the other, so I think that's something I've got to get used to. Roy Moore in his wisdom doesn't need to worry about that whatsoever, particularly over his time doing this job, but yeah, we're just waiting for the next set to make their way through. People waiting, anticipating. Just waiting to hear the first bout of noise, I think, making its way up down that section of the track. And I think we can just about hear the first making their way towards the area where we're concerned. I'm just waiting to see who will be making their way through here. Been waiting quite some time for the last couple of seconds. You might be able to hear that in the background yourself here. Plenty of calm and silence amongst those watching and waiting. And here indeed, and absolutely barrelling through here past Maggie's cottage. Here we are, the first one to emerge, and it's number 54, Peter Boast, making his way through, followed just a couple of seconds behind by number 118. That's Andy Saylor on the 600 Kawasaki, and then a good 5 or 6 gap again to number 29, and that is Marcus Simpson, one of the newcomers. Then followed by 33 making their way in, no issues at all. Chris Moore on the 250 Yamaha, and 60 just with a quick overtake on 52 there. So Billy Cummins, the decorator, as Tim called him there, just making his way through on the overtake. 105 now making his way as well. That's Andrew Cowie of Ramsey, and a fair gap after that as well. So it seems like the first pack are a bit spread out, as it were. 94 now making their way through as well. Gordon Clark, another of the newcomers on the 600 Yamaha. He'll be making his way up towards Church Bends imminently. Final 3 so far in this next group coming through. Number 31 is Colin Croft, one to keep an eye on. 46 and 95 following close behind as well. 2 side by side, in fact. There we are, 45 just making it past 25 here. Time to go back to you, Tim.
Yeah, first 2 bikes interview. 54 it is across the line first, and then 118. So Peter Boast safely through, and Andy Saylor, and they've got a little bit of a head of steam ahead of the rest as 2 more emerge. 29 and number 33. 29 is Marcus Simpson, a newcomer, and 33 is Chris Moore. 60 across the line now on the orange plates with the black numbers on. 60 is Billy Cummins, 2 together here. 105 ahead of 52, seem to be slowing. 52 Brian Clark. 105 is Andy Cowie. I think 52 had just stepped off the gas as he crossed the line, and with another bike comes over the crest of School Hill. 94 is across the line. That's the newcomer Gordon Clark, but it does seem that 52 Brian Clark is still going. 31, 95 and 45 there across the line. That's Colin Croft, Stephen Paul Higg and Adrian Scaife. 2 together close there with Connor Wade and Dave Glover. Anthony Redmond just ahead of them, and Peter Moore safely across the line, as is number 57 Brian Nicol. So 16 machines have crossed the line for this Jeff Duke Junior Superbike race. They will do the 7 laps, as I say. 25 Peter Moore has pulled in down at the clubhouse. So let's head back out to Rob at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Another bit of a gap here, but you're almost right on cue. I don't know how you did that, but we do have the first making their way into Cross Four Ways, and it is indeed number 54, Peter Boast, has opened up a little bit of a gap now to number 118, making his way through. That's Andy Saylor. A bit more of a difference between the two of them. They're both through safe and sound here, and certainly not messing about, making their way now. Does seem to be very spread out as it stands at the moment. Here is number 33, Chris Moore, with a bit of tarmac between him and number 29 making his way through now, Marcus Simpson. on the 750 Ducati, and then we've got another fair gap again, really spread out the field as it stands at the moment. Coming through all on his own here, number 60, that is Billy Cummins, makes his way through, no problem at all. And then we're looking at another good 10-second gap here as the next makes their way through past Maggie's Cottage here. It's number 105, Andy Cowie, familiar face up in the north of the island in Ramsey as well. And you can see the distances that are being pulled out between the separate riders here. And number 52 through, but it's time to go back to Tim.
Perfect timing as the first machine comes into our view, and the second at 54. Peter Boast at 88.8, 118 through. That's Andy Saylor at 88.641 miles per hour. Compared to Peter Boast at 88.866 miles per hour. Number 33 has gone to the top of the leaderboard. It's 89.743 miles per hour. 33, of course, is Chris Moore. Here's number 29 across the line. Marcus Simpson, the newcomer, 84.220 miles per hour. Fourth quickest at the moment, but more riders, of course, to cross the line. Number 60, that's Billy Cummins. He slots into fifth of the 5 riders across the line so far at 83.703 miles per hour. But quickest so far is 33, Chris Moore. 105, that's the Ramsey man, Andrew Cowie, across the line. 81.410 miles per hour in these glorious conditions on a Friday evening at the start of what we hope is going to be a bumper fortnight of action here on the Isle of Man. 45 goes up into fourth, that's Adrian Scaife, and into 8th place is number 52, Brian Clark. Scaife at 86.077 miles per hour. Brian Clark at 74.096. Another machine into view, and there's bright sunshine here. Is number 31. That's Colin Croft. 50, 30, 95, 57, just getting across on the inside there of 94, but with no time to bring you the details there. Let's get across 4 ways, and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. You mentioned Chris Moore there, hails from New Mills, will be familiar club to FC Isle of Man supporters, but no more football references. We promised that. Here come the first 2 in here. 54 and 118, gap really closed up here as both Peter Boast and Andy Saylor made their way through there. Couldn't have been more than just a couple of tenths of a second between them there, but there is a fair 5 or 6 seconds between them and number 33, Chris Moore. He makes his way through, no problem at all on this occasion. Things really starting to spread out now as we look past Maggie's Cottage, up the sweeping turning bends to the next to make their way through here all on their own. Seems to be a bit of a familiar side riders on their own. Number 29 here, Marcus Simpson on the 750 Ducati makes his way through, absolutely no problem at all. And then we can hear the squealing engine of the next to make their way through in the sunshine. It is indeed number 60, Billy Cummins, all on his own once again, makes his way through. Once again, no issues at all whatsoever. Just looking further down yet again. Plenty of sun on the track, but not too many riders close together. And once again, one emerging by themselves. But no time for that. Going back to you, Tim.
Yeah, 2 bikes very close together this time as they cross the line. 54 just ahead of 118. 54 is Peter Boast, and 118 Andy Saylor. He's gone into second, but another quickest time from number 33 Chris Moore, who is absolutely flying on that 250 Yamgata, as it is called in the programme. 91.927 miles per hour. Still, of course, some way off the lap record set by James Cowden, who we remember with great fondness. Number 29, Marcus Simpson, is through on his 3rd lap, and he's moved up to 6th in the provisional standings at 85.630 miles per hour. Here's number 60 through. That's Billy Cummins. And he has gone quicker, but stays in 7th provisionally at 84.511. So it's Chris Moore who is quickest. Number 33 at 91.927 miles per hour. Second quickest, 118, Andy Saylor at 89.541. That was Andy Cowie across the line. He's in 8th position. Third, number 28, Tom Snow at 89.356 miles per hour. Fourth, number 54, Peter Boast. Peter Boast is at 88.866 miles per hour. Fifth, number 45, Adrian Scaife at 86.0 82.077 miles per hour. And sixth, going really well, number 29, Marcus Simpson, the newcomer, at 85.630. Let's get back to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Just waiting to see the next batch make their way through here, and almost right on cue. We've got a little bit of a gap between 1 or 2 seconds here. It's actually Andy Saylor who's taken the front of the pack here over Peter Boast, followed closely now by Chris Moore, who seems to have really closed the gap here at number 33. The three starting to bunch up as they make their way through to Church Bends and up towards Great Meadow. Could be interesting to see how close those three are as they make their way up to you, Tim, later on. We're just waiting to see who's going to be the next pack to make their way through. Will it be the same story that we saw with those three riders bunching up a little bit more after a spread out start? It's not the case at the moment. One solitary rider making his way through once again. It is number 29, Marcus Simpson, with plenty of time to negotiate this, and does so with absolutely no problem at all. So apart from the front three there, by the looks of it, of Andy Saylor, Peter Boast and Chris Moore, things still pretty spread out as the next makes their way through. That is number 60, Billy Cummins on the 250 Yamaha through Cross Four Ways. Absolutely no trouble at all here. We're going to wait to see, but no time for that at the moment. Back to you, Tim.
Yep, that's the nature of three bikes emerge into view. First of them is 118, 54 and 33, and he's gone quicker again. Is our provisional pole sitter, number 33, Chris Moore, 92.354 miles per hour. Second still is the third lap time of Andy Saylor, number 118. But Tom Snow is still in there. Peter Boast, number 54. He did go slightly quicker on that last lap. The checkered flag is on display here. That's the end of that session. 88.892 miles per hour. 29 crosses the line, and that's Marcus Simpson. He's put in his quickest lap. Stays in just moved up into sixth on the overall timings, and Marcus Simpson there at 85.731. What a good performance on his debut here at Billown. Number 60 sits up, and that is Billy Cummins, and he's put his quickest time in as well at 84.658 miles per hour, and moves up into 7th place in the provisional standings for this race number 5. It'll be Monday morning this will take place. But of course there is a further practice session tomorrow afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and then we have a break. Roads open and close again, and then we get racing. Got the right leg out there. Andy Cowie just acknowledging the checkered flag has been seen, and he's in 9th position. Couldn't beat his fastest on lap 2 of 81.410. 8th is number 50, Dave Glover, at 81.452. So let's give you the top then. Number 33 is in pole position provisionally. Chris Moore at 92.354 miles per hour. That best lap was 2 minutes 45.667 seconds. Second was number 118, Andy Saylor, 89.541. But that is over 5 seconds slower than number 33, our provisional pole sitter Chris Moore. Two more across the line there, Brian Nicol and Connor Wade, and Brian Clark now has just crossed the line and has moved up with a quicker lap for him into 14th overall. But back to the top, third is number 28, Tom Snow, 89.356 miles per hour. Fourth is number 54, Peter Boast, and that was his last lap where he just edged it up a bit to 88.892 miles per hour. Fifth is number 45, Adrian Scaife, at 86.077 miles per hour. Sixth, number 29, the newcomer Marcus Simpson, at 85.731 miles per hour on his last lap. He put in quicker laps one after the other there, which is really the way that any newcomer should go. Get yourself comfortable and just build yourself into getting the speed, being nice and relaxed and steady away. Seventh, number 60, the decorator Billy Cummins, 84.658 miles per hour. Eighth, number 50, Dave Glover at 82.641 miles per hour. Ninth, 105, Andy Cowie at 81.410. 10th, number 57, Brian Nicol at 80.799 miles per hour. And then we've got in 11th, Number 30, Connor Wade. 12th, number 31, Colin Croft. 13th is number 95, and that is Steve Paul Higgerty, the Caterham rider. 14th, number 52, Brian Clark. 15th, number 94, another of the newcomers, Gordon Clark. 16th, number 46, Anthony Redmond. And 17th, number 25, and that is the newcomer, Peter Moore. Unfortunately, came in and didn't record a time, came in at the end of that opening sighter lap, as it would be referred to. So no time, unfortunately, for the Douglas rider. So pretty dominant performance there by number 33, Chris Moore, on that lovely name, 250 Yamagata, the new Mills rider. And Rob noted another reference to football. A 2002 year bike, that, prepared by Outhwaite Plant and Silverstone Services. So course inspection cars, second one just crossing the line now. They've just been out just to take a look at something that they wanted just to go out with, because they weren't due to go out until after the next session, just to take the look around. So they've just had a quick look just to check everything's in order. So that was the Jeff Duke Junior Superbike race there, which say is race 5. Next up, we should have the 250 Lightweight Classic and the 125 Post Classics, and they should be leaving the holding area and proceeding to the dummy grid. We are just running around about 5 minutes or so just behind schedule, but nobody, they haven't left to go to that dummy grid yet. So let's just bring in Rob here and just see how he's enjoying this session here with a microphone in hand rather than a cold beer maybe watching on a hedge somewhere. But just seeing, it's, to me, when Chris has held the microphone, that to me was the noise of the night. Just hearing those bikes going away from the dummy grid was just exhilarating and quite emotional as well after a 3-year gap. And I'm sure a lot of fans have felt that way around, having had to wait so long. 2019 to 2022 doesn't sound a lot overall, but my word, it's been painful. Rob, your thoughts?
I totally agree with you there. Yeah, just listening to the noise around Chris Kinley there. Sometimes words aren't required, are they? You know, there's that saying, isn't there? A picture can speak 1,000 words. Sometimes just an audio clip can speak 1,000 words, just in terms of just the excitement, the energy around here. Absolutely brilliant, and we've touched on it that many times, but I'm going to do so again. The absolutely fantastic weather. It may have put some people off, had things been a bit more hit and miss, and I do believe the machines are making their way out, and it's a chance to go over to Chris Kinley. Straight over.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I'm actually still in the little holding area they have in the field. It's just a field. There's normally sheep in here. They're keeping the grass down. But, yeah, the tents are here. The bikes are heading the way out, the 250s. And, of course, the 125s. Good to see the 250s and the 125s. 250s on the green plates with the white numbers. 125s, black plates and the white numbers. And quite interesting looking at the regulations for this, about what qualifies in this. There's some pretty old 125 Hondas and Yamahas and stuff in the field. It is great to see. I've just seen number 60. 7 go out, Jeff Bates. Now Jeff, when they're normally doing the normal show on Manx Radio, which Mike Reynolds is on at the moment, he'd normally message in from Thornton Cleveley's. That's where he's from. He's just headed out on track there now. In fact, I just see him going over there and heading out. I did come down here to try and find Chris Moore, trying to have a quick chat with Chris, see if he was happy enough with that practice, the speeds that he was getting up to. And well done for the position for Marcus Simpson. I think you said 8th, Tim, wasn't it, for Marcus Simpson. But the 250s, the 125s, the lovely 2 strokes will be heading down towards you for the first lap of their opening practice here on a Friday evening at Cross Four Ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Just waiting to see the first Hove interview here. Just must say, just before you came to me there, just took a couple of moments just to take a couple of pictures for myself. Embracing the moment. You don't often see a a comeback from a lengthy layoff for road racing all that often. We're so glad to have it back here. Just waiting to hear the cacophony of noise making its way all the way down past the likes of the stables, through the dip, and eventually, as they will eventually come into my eye line, up at Maggie's cottage here. And indeed, here are the first ones making their way through. And just taking a look here, it's Keith Shannon, as he did earlier on today. He's the one leading the pack from Mike Hose and Ewan Hamilton making their way through. Those are the front three there, a couple of seconds out in front there, Keith Shannon, but very close together. Mike Hose and Ewan Hamilton following not far behind, setting the early pace here, quite a way in front of the next rider making his way through Maggie's cottage. That's just Hoven into view now, and we're just taking a look as he goes back down through the gears. It is a number 102, Nick Penny on the 249. Jeff Monty special, and then we've got a host, 3-4 riders coming through. Right out in front here is number 108, Bill Butler, followed by 107, 47 and 90. So ending the pack there, Mike Barry on the 252 Ducati, and then we have number 65, Loris Hunt, coming through, 104 and 40 following behind. Barry Davidson in there, and then number 89 as well. So Lawrence Cummins of Ramsey making his way through, a couple of seconds, and another making their way through, no trouble at all. Alan Smallbones followed by number 79, and that is Mark Herbertson on the 125 Honda. And it's time to go back to you, Tim.
Yeah, and we glance up the bypass, and 3 machines are now in sight. It's number 5, 7 and 4. So that's Keith Shannon, Ewan Hamilton and Mike Hose. So they're just starting their first flying lap now, their first timed lap. So well, it's quite a distance that those 3 have forged ahead of the rest of the pack. As we're looking up to the railway bridge, we can see them if we look up the railway line, the steam railway line here, crossing the bridge. Just seen 2 or 3 machines crossing that bridge, and now they'll come over the crest of School Hill. And first bike, 2 bikes into view, with 2 just a little bit further back. And it's 108, 102, 197 and 47 as more bikes come into view. So that is Bill Butler, Nick Penny, Michael Titchmarsh and Russell Robury. 17 is Russell. 65 is safely through, that's Loris Hunt. 40 Barry Davidson is through, and 104 Andy Hunt is through. 90 is through, that's 2 together there. 3 in fact, Alan Smallbones and Mark Herbertson. Herbertson trying to get past number 27. Herbertson is number 79. Andy Hunt, the newcomer, is through. Mike Barry is through, and also through is number 27, Alan Smallbones, and number 89, Lawrence Cummins. Number 60, latest through, and that is Billy Cummins. Number 68, Rob Farrington has gone through as well. So number 12 across the line now, that's Richard Ford. So Shannon, Hamilton and Hose quite a way ahead of the rest. Will that be the same across 4 ways? Rob Pritchard.
Well, I imagine it very well could be. We're just waiting to see who's coming into the eye line, but I think we can be almost certain that it's going to be that Suzuki and Ariel Arrow that are going to be leading the way. And we do have 1 making their way through and 2 further behind. It is, in fact, number 7, Ethan Hamilton, who's made his way right with Ewan Hamilton, I should say, followed by number 5 and 4, respectively, Keith Shannon and Mike Hose. Shannon leading Hose, and quite a distance between them. It was Ewan Hamilton who'd actually pulled out in front of those 2. He pulled out a good 5 or 6 second gap as both Shannon and Mike Hose battling away for supremacy there, but Ewan Hamilton got plenty of tarmac in front of him to make up some ground and get some clean air to get those good times in. But for Shannon and Hose, they're certainly not messing about, even though they're trying to find the best line themselves. And you're absolutely right, as we expected from the last time they made their way round cross 4 ways. There's quite the gap that has developed here, quite a long wait until we see the next set of riders making their way through here. They'll be absolutely roaring through Church Bends and Great Meadow, the front 3. We do have 2 emerging here, 3 in fact, bit of a gap here, 2 almost side by side here, and it's number 40 goes past 65, Barry Davidson making the move there on Loris Hunt, followed by 2 more which are backed up by Russell Robury, the newcomer, and then a number 104 there, Andy Hunt on the Ducati Monza, as the more of them make their way through. No time for that at the moment. Over to you, Tim.
Yeah, Ewan Hamilton across the line. He's got a bit of a lead now on number 4 and 5. Mike Hose into second, and 5, of course, is Keith Shannon. Just have a stationary yellow at the top there. The Flag Marshal is displaying at the top of School Hill Rise as a bike has just retired there and is on the pavement. So just the yellow stationary flag out there warning riders coming around Castletown corner, the rail corner there, and down the bypass. So Ewan Hamilton, top of the pile, number 7, 82.080 miles per hour. Second is Mike Hose at 79.515. And third, Keith Shannon, number 5, at 79.045 miles per hour. And 2 more machines into view. It is a big gap there. Now it's 65 through at 40. So that's Barry Davidson and Loris Hunt. There's number 107, 17 and 104 through. 108 is Bill Butler safely through. So fourth is number 40, Barry Davidson at 76.877 miles per hour. Fifth, number 65, Loris Hunt at 76.826. And sixth now is number 79, just gone through. Number 79 is Mark Herbertson at 75.270. His number 90 is through. That's Mike Barry. Seventh and newcomer Andy Hunt at 74.894. As 27, 89, 90 and 102 go through. Let's go to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Yeah, no change there. The gap between the front three is considerable and bang on cue here. Someone's making up a lot of ground indeed. And just looking here, he is. It is Ewan Hamilton. He's pulled out a sizable gap now between the two following in behind him. And Mike Hose has pulled off a bit of a way, managed to get 2 or 3 seconds into Cross Four Ways ahead of Keith Shannon. So the gap opening up slightly between the front three there, just between themselves as they hammer their way up to Church Bends. But let's be in absolutely no doubt, there seems to be a vast yawning chasm at the moment of difference between the front three and the others coming forward. In fact, just as I handed over to you watching those going past, there did seem to be some interesting jostling for racing lines and better speed throughout the corner coming through after that, and we might be able to catch some of that before they make their way right past over Great Meadow towards you. We're just going to see who might be making their way over the horizon here. Waiting for the side of the next one to come through. That gap really has dramatically increased here. We'll see if we can actually get ourselves some more riders coming through before we make our way back to you. We can just see 2 emerging as they make their way through Maggie's Cottage here. Certainly not hanging around here. And it is number 65, Loris Hunt. He's got himself back in front of number 40, Barry Davidson, somewhere along the line. And that is time for us to go back to you, Tim.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. As number 7, Ewan Hamilton has gone through and is top of the pile at the moment. Mike Hose has also moved up into second. Keith Shannon stays in third. Mike Hose at 80.197 miles per hour. Ewan Hamilton didn't improve on his time from the second lap, 82.080. Now, we have got a couple of people further up, halfway up School Hill, who've come over the barriers. Sad to report, and there's a little bit of concern. You have to stay. It's trespassing when the roads are closed. You have to stay on the other side of the barriers. So racing, there's a travelling marshal just walking further up, but they will, Jim Hunter it is, but you cannot cross over the barriers. Stay behind the barriers. As next interview is 2 machines. It's 65, followed by number 40. 65 goes into third above Keith Shannon. That's Loris Hunt at 79.062 miles per hour. And number 40, of course, was Barry Davidson at 78.945. 3 more machines into view. And that was 107, 104 and 17. That's Andy Hunt, Russell Robury and Michael Titchmarsh. 79 across the line and 108. 79, Mark Herbertson's moved up into 6th place at 75.891 miles per hour. And the travelling marshal has made his way towards where our trespassers had gone. And guess what? They're on the other side of the hedge already. Let's go out to Cross Four Ways and Rob Pritchard.
Great timing, Tim. Just seeing Ewan Hamilton making his way through. Absolutely no problem at all. He's pulled out a sizable advantage. He's got plenty of tarmac to go into here, and another big gap before we can see number 4, Mike Hose, on the aerial arrow making his way through. No sign of Keith Shannon, who was in behind. Just to echo your words there, Tim, that road closures are an extremely serious matter. They must not be denied at all time. Well, Keith Shannon making his way through, right on cue here, number 5 on the 250 Suzuki. Please make sure you adhere to all road closure laws. And that is the message to all listeners every time that racing is taking place. They are in place for an extremely good reason. Well, I think I'm getting myself a fair bit of a tan out here this evening, and I think it'll be developing quite nicely by the time we see the next group come through. That gap still as large as ever as we wait to see the next coming through the stables and through the dip as well. And I can indeed see one of those glistening in the sunshine, right, making his way down here through Maggie's Cottage, just waiting for confirmation. Bit of a gap opening up here. Loris Hunt, number 65, has opened up about 2 or 3 seconds on Barry Davidson, who's dropped a little bit further back, but both through the corner. No issues at all. Back to you, Tim.
Yes, 7, Ewan Hamilton has finished. The checkered flag is out, and he stays with that lap on his second timed circuit at 82.080. Mike Hose has gone quicker and up into second at 80.891 miles per hour as another machine comes into view, and that is number 5, Keith Shannon. He hasn't gone any quicker, in fact, noticeably slower, in fact, on that lap. 79.045 miles per hour on his second lap is the one that will count, but it's getting the laps in and getting dialed back into racing around the Colas Billown course, which shall be the biggest thing to put in the bank ahead. I'm glad to say that the spectators all seem to now be correctly in position behind the barriers, as still see orange marshals and the green fluorescence of the travelling marshal Jim Hunter that went up there to investigate. 65 has gone a tad quicker on that last lap. In third place, Loris Hunt at 80.156 miles per hour. Fourth is number 5, Keith Shannon, 79.045. Fifth is number 40, Barry Davidson at 78.948 miles per hour. And in sixth, it's number 12. That is Richard Ford at 77.841. More across the line. It's 104, 17 and 107. 79 across the line. That's Mark Herbertson. He's gone quicker, but he stays down in 7th there. 79 Mark Herbertson at 76.937 miles per hour. 8th, number 104, the newcomer Andy Hunt, 75.209, his quickest on that last circuit. 9th, number 17, another newcomer, number 17, and that is Russell Robury. And Richard Ford, I can tell you, just interrupting there. Richard Ford just crossed the line, number 12, and he's gone up into 4th place at 79.153 miles per hour on that last lap there. So that does in fact drop number 17 Russell Robury down into 9th, and 10th is 107 Michael Titchmarsh at 74.561 miles per hour. Then it's 11th, number 108, Bill Butler. 12th, number 60 is another across the line is number 60. He's, in fact, just nudged ahead now of Bill Butler. That's Billy Cummins moved up into 11th and relegated number 108 Bill Butler into 12th place. Up into 13th is number 68, Bob Farrington. 14th, number 27, Alan Smallbones. 15th is number 89, Lawrence Cummins. 16th is number 90, Mike Barry. 17th, number 85, Danny Pullen. And 18th, number 102, Nick Penny. But your top three, Ewan Hamilton is top. Number 7, 82.080 miles per hour. Second, number 4, Mike Hose at 80.891 miles per hour. And in third, number 65, Loris Hunt, 80.156 miles per hour. Chris Kinley, calling Chris Kinley. Ewan Hamilton, impressive.
spoke to Ewan a little bit earlier on, Tim, and he was very, very happy and smiling. And he was the guy who's actually talking about for gearing for these little bikes. So he's obviously has made the right choices on that. Getting set up for the superbikes, which are going to be going out next, or the post-classic superbikes. And I've had to put the coat on. They said temperatures just dropped just a little bit here. Just that little bit of breeze is just still there from where it was before, but the temperature has dropped a little bit. So we've put the old Manx Radio coat on with the fleece inside it just to keep warm. Fortunately, I'm not abreast of the times here because I have a little tablet that kind of links up with what they've got in the hut. But for some strange reason, there's a van blocking exactly where I want the Wi-Fi signal to chuck over to where I am, and there's a little white van just blocking that signal. So we'll work on that for tomorrow. But yeah, Tim, Ewan Hamilton, excellent stuff from Ewan to be on top there. Of course, a regular around here at Billown for many years, and of course on the mountain circuit with the Manx Grand Prix. And again, I did go to try and find a couple of the guys earlier on, but again, they're out again in this next one. We've got the superbikes out next. Previous winners of this. Have we got anybody there? Jamie Coward, number 36 on the KTS Racing, powered by Steadplan 750 machine. A couple of newcomers, we'll keep an eye on Marcus Simpson again. I think you said he was doing about 88 mile an hour. I think you said a bit earlier on, 88 mile an hour for the newcomer of the Douglas man. 750 Ducati on him. Another newcomer, Andy Hornby, number 42 on the 750 Suzuki. Dean Ratcliffe, number 73 on another 750 Kawasaki. Seems to be the weapon of choice, really, this, doesn't it? And Gordon Clark, number 94 for Hemel Hempstead on one of the big 1200cc GSXR Suzukis. That should be a bit of a handful around the very bumpy section, especially going in as you go through just before you get to Duck Street there on the run to Ballabeg, as you go through the little gap in the thing. And I was watching an old video a little while ago of the 250 race way back, and a rider was sat up by another rider going into there, and the rider had to go through Joey's Gate, affectionately known as Joey's Gate, and the gate always left open. For those who don't know, it's on the road to Ballabeg. You go over the railway bridge at the bottom of the Ballakagan Straight Iron Gate there, turn right over the railway bridge, and then turn left as you head towards the bumpy section as you run towards Ballabeg Hairpin. And the rider had to go through the gate, which is always left open, as you dread to think if the gate would not have been left open, but the gate is always left open for that reason. Apparently Joey Dunlop went in there many moons ago on an early morning practice, and yeah, we used to have early morning practices here at the Southern 100 many moons ago, like we used to have at the TT and the Grand Prix as well. But they went the way by in the I don't know, late 90s was it when we got rid of it. The recovery car is here picking up people, supplied by Milcrease, and David Milcrease was in the race office a bit earlier on, and the club thanked him personally. A couple of guys at the club said thank you very much for your support once again, and you wouldn't like to think how many cars and how many years it's been. I must speak to David actually when we get a break, actually probably on Monday, and find out how many years exactly they have been providing cars. It'll probably be since the start of it in 1955, especially at the Southern 100. So we will be getting underway again very shortly. The car has gone down to the bottom of the road there now, towards heading towards Ballakagan. So one car stops here, the other car's there getting ready to get itself into position. And of course, well, we won't have cars, will we? That's what race days to have the cars there. How they do it on the race days, they put a car at the end of the road there. Quickly though, we'll go back to the start line, and Tim.